Well, I'm back, and we're going to go over the open house. I was going to do it alphabetically, and then I said, I have the program right here. Why don't I just go set by set? That way, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, you can go back and look at the set, make your own evaluation if you want. There was 16 horses, not 15, 16. Really shocked the hell out of me yesterday, and if I add a couple along the way, that's fine too. I may have missed a couple also. Feel free to send me an email and say, hey Anthony, what about this horse? Maybe what did the driver say about this horse, or what did you see with this horse? Very few horses I was left disappointed. Very few. Some I knew were going to act up, obviously, but none thoroughly disappointed me. I can't think of any. I might see some along the way, but nothing where I was like, oh my God. Not that. I mean, we talked about Pine Creek in the opening, just a little timid, crazy mission. That was my fault. I let his hobbles out. We went down, so I trained him that big mile last week, and he was great. And then what happened was we jogged him for 4 days without the hobbles on. No big deal. So when we wanted to put them on him on Sunday, I said, we'll let them out a little bit. No, he needs his pants on, and he made a little break. You know, things like that. Anyway, we'll start with set one. We had Enjoy in My Life, one of our better fillies. James was really cautious with her. You know, you can tell she's a dynamo. She's really strong, really beautiful filly. Does everything perfectly right. Just a really, really nice filly. He didn't even get a chance to show her off. Technically, we weren't supposed to be going training miles yesterday. Just kind of flashed them a little bit, stretched them out a little bit. A couple of horses did go training miles. I found out later, because I wasn't watching, but I found out later there were a couple that were charted with miles. So, first set, Enjoy My Life, looked great. Time will dazzle, obviously, no surprise there. Canadian Titan Mario was smart. We're trying to get this filly dialed in properly. He went a mile in 2:58. She'd been in 2:54. No need to push and push and push. What's happening is, in the straightaway, she's just brushing herself behind, just touching herself. I had the hobbles on her last week. She was still a little uncomfortable in the hobbles. Mario said, you know what? She trots every bit as good or better, especially at a slower speed without them. Why don't we leave them off her? So we did, and he was right. She looked good. She went a mile in 2:58, Miss Mischief Maker. Really, really like what I saw from this filly. Really, really liked what I saw from her. She goes with a really nice low head, very comfortable, really, really happy there. Fox Valley Shazam, we made some significant shoeing changes on her this week. Mario said she was much better on Sunday. Nancy Allison, she trained really hard this week, actually. Got to throttle her back. She's actually beginning to like her speed, so we're going to have to throttle Nancy Allison back a little bit. But she was very, very good on Sunday also. Scott Young went with her, and he was really impressed with her. Now, I think James was making fun of Scott later because as of like the 9th set, he hadn't kept a horse trotting. So I know she made a little break somewhere, but I know Scotty said she was ultra impressive. And not surprising. I know she's ultra impressive. She can really go. Overdue Mission, my girl, she was good too. Kind of meat and potatoes worker. She's got lots of speed, but she had some shit in her nose, some mucus in her nose. And we were just going easy with her on Sunday. Very, very, very happy with what I've seen from Overdue Mission. So that was set number one. I think it's easier to do it this way. That way you get to see all the horses that are here, all the horses that went, and I get to talk about them all. Saves me doing a redundant list. And I can really talk about some of the horses that really shocked me and the people that were going with them. Don't believe me, just watch. Just a little guy. We're training him, putting some miles into him. I'm not going to get too serious or concerned with him for a couple of months yet. Really, we're just putting in some time and some work, see how he feels. No complaints from him. I forget who was going with him, actually. You know, he didn't do anything wrong, and he doesn't ever do anything wrong, and I'm sure he'll do lots right down the road, but we're just really putting in some work with him. Classy Will, I trained Classy Will in 241 in the middle of the week, 241, 242, something like that. He was very, very good. Again, just wanted to go out and let him saunter along. They were very, very happy with him. Brush Cut, James was floored with this colt, said he was really good. I asked him, I waited till dinner, actually. I didn't ask him right after. I said, what about the Heston colt? And of course, how the hell would he know? He's like, which one was that? I said, he was early on. He said, is that a big colt? Pace is kind of narrow up front, long hobble. I said, yeah. He said, that horse can fly. Really, really nice colt. Brush Cut, not surprised. I've said this all along. It's a very talented colt, well-bred. why would anybody be surprised? He looked good. Excellent Nation. Jay went with him. Jay Harris, I believe, said he really liked him. Again, this was a colt that was sick all week, so I asked him not to heat him up. He said, no, I only asked him to pace for an eighth of a mile or so, but you could tell he's got lots of speed. Utopian. This is a colt that, again, had been sick, but a beautiful colt with a long gait for a big gym colt without a giant frame. He's got a giant stride and a really good-looking colt. McPherson Thunder looked good. Mario showed him off a little bit there on Sunday. Enough so that Rick Vive came and wanted to buy more shares of him. Again, not surprising. His brother was really talented. Took a mark as a 2-year-old at 155, but was small. This guy is giant, and he looked good yesterday. Coming off the virus, too. Wanted to make sure Mario went easy with him. You don't tell Mario. He's a horseman. He understands. He did it absolutely perfect, and he looked great. Frontier Cruise. I told you this is a nice horse. He looks great. He's heavy, but he lands on the ground light, if that makes any sense to you. You'll see some horses, various sizes, and they just slam into the ground, and you're like, ow. You know, that's got to be a problem down the road. This guy is, if not the biggest, one of the biggest horses in the barn, maybe on the property, and he hits the ground very light. Strikes the ground light, comes off the ground quick, got a perfect gait, big, long gait to him. Just a really nice horse. You guys got to look at him yesterday. I told you he was a good-looking horse. Trained him in 44, and he was all business last week training. Cabernet, I trained her last week. She was really impressive. I thought she was a couple of pounds light, and I had asked her to up her feed. We're going to keep a close eye on her. She eats well. She's just not putting it on. That's because she's growing so fast. And I don't know who went with her. They didn't give me a glowing report, just said she was good. I know when I trained her last week, I thought she was awesome. So I think it's just a matter of she needs to put a little bit of weight on, stay healthy, and grow into her long hobble that we got on her. But Cabernet, this is the filly, obviously, out of a sister to Andrevet. Very happy with her last week. I know I trained her last week, and I thought she was really impressive. I can't say that I got a glowing report from the... I lied to you. I didn't get a report on every horse. I saw most of them. I talked to some of the drivers. Hey, which one impressed you? Was there any you weren't impressed with? That was the one thing I can say. I spoke to every driver, except for Sylvain. He had to leave early. And not one driver said, I didn't like this one. I didn't like that one. They can be frank with me. They have no reason to lie. And nobody gave any poor remarks to anybody. So I'm very, very happy in that regard. Cabernet, I know I trained her in the middle of the week. I was very happy with her. Didn't have to go down and ask. Didn't think I had to. But I know she's a nice filly. A little bit underweight. We're working on that. Set 3 had Forged in Fire scratched late. He had a temperature again. We're going to kick that guy out for a week and a half or so. But you're going to have to take my word for it. You're going to see soon enough when we get him back. Beautiful colt, fantastic family, and great gait. He's going to be a nice horse. There's no two ways about it, in my mind anyway. Now, I shouldn't say that. I don't mean to allude to the fact that he's going to be a great racehorse. I have no idea if he's going to be a great racehorse, but you're going to see what I'm talking about when you get a look at him under the drone this winter. Beautiful horse, beautiful gait, just a nice horse. Sebastian Yu made my list originally of horses, impressed the hell out of me. I like the way. The reason I like this horse is because 10 days ago he couldn't trot at all. We had to put hobbles on him, had to change his shoes, put heavier shoes on him. Now he's trotting 1, 2, 3, 4, and look comfortable and understands what he's supposed to do. When they start to get it, when they start to understand what they're supposed to do, that's when I become the most excited, because then I'm going to see what they really can do, right? They're going to get stronger, they're going to get faster, but I need to know the faster they understand what their work is and they want to exceed at it, obviously the better they're going to be. And Sebastian Yu decided quite quickly that this was something he was going to do and do right. We put the hobbles on him. He caught it right away. He's been trotting great since. Really happy with this colt. Rooney Blue Chip, he was sick when we first got him, so he's a little bit behind a bunch of these horses. And I told them, don't heat him up too much. There's no rush. Just go out and go around with him. I was happy with what I saw. Danny thought the shoes on him maybe we change them a bit. I said no. We're gonna leave them as is for now and see how he comes. Just a little more work, as you can expect. When they learn to do their work, there's that feeling out period where you don't know how good they're going to do it, how well they want to do it, how much they want to do of it. And then once they get to that point where they're workers, they want to go out and do their work and they understand it, and you see them start to exceed, move forward, and impress if they can. That's day one for me. We're trying to get to day one, really, of their training. And Rooney Blue Chip just arrived this week. Really happy. Not arrived in the barn, but arrived to day one in my mind. And I was very, very happy with him. Time Alakazam, I had somebody message me saying, he's rough. Time Alakazam's a beast. He's a giant and he's fat. Just needs to take a little time. There's no rush with this colt. It's an Ontario-bred colt. Remember what I said. These horses are not going to be ready to qualify till July 1st at the earliest. We're not making this mistake next year of where we train them down, sick or healthy, we try and get them there, and then get them there, race them all winter in that extra long Ontario program, and they're all tired at the end of the year. We're not doing that. So Time Al-Kazam, doing exactly what we're asking him to do. He's got a big, long, sloppy gait to him, but he trots. Every step he trots, he's fat. So as we tighten those bolts down and allow him to trot a little quicker, get that weight off him at a healthy pace, I think you'll then see, if you bought the horse, you'll then see the horse you were hoping to see. There's no rush. He's doing everything right, and he understands what his job is. That's important. French Twist, still got that little Angus voice. You can see him once in a while bouncing around out there, but he can trot hard. Jay really liked this colt. He said you can tell when he gets in his mind he wants to go, it's time to go. And those Angus Halls just take a little more polishing. Some of them take a lot more work, but a lot more polishing. And I don't know, I'll be honest, I have to admit, I've never actually sat behind French Twist. Danny broke him when I was away. Danny loves him. He hides him. He goes with him first every day. And I'll probably go with him this week, this colt. He's creeping up to that part where he's going to start training. And I want to get a real good look at him. Jay was happy with him. Said, if anything else, he said, you can tell he's an Angus. There's nothing wrong with that. So, French Twist, he's on his way. He's going to start training this week. A horse that impressed everybody, and I missed it a little bit, was Classic Con. We sold a lot of shares of Classic Con at the open house. A lot of people that understand what horses are supposed to look like. People that I hold in pretty high regard as far as intelligence goes in horse racing were the ones jumping in and buying into this colt. He looked really good, and I walked down the stairs, and I just opened the door, and Mario looked at me, and he just kind of nodded his head and winked. I didn't remember seeing. I was talking to Dad, and we were looking at the TV, and I didn't get a great look at Classic Con all day, but he obviously impressed a lot of people, Mario obviously being one of them. So I'm happy if everybody else is happy. Classic Con looked great. Sebastian Ray didn't look great yesterday, acting up a little bit. It's my fault. I didn't train him. I didn't train him in the middle of the week. I trained a lot of these colts. You can tell some of them had their head deep in the check when they chirped him and asked him to go. They were all business. And this guy, I didn't straighten him out the middle of the week because he had been going good, and I don't want to push him right now. He's doing everything we ask him to do, but on Sunday was not his best day. And Wednesday, he is going to have to be in the principal's office and do a little work because of that. But I am not concerned at all with Sebastian Ray. I saw 2 weeks ago into the drone what he can do in the direction he's headed. Now it's just a matter of getting him back on that road and keeping him there. So Sebastian Ray will be training on Wednesday. Talking Peter. I forgot to tell James. This horse said, if you show him daylight, if you move him, if you put him in a position to act up, he will. And that's the way he's been. We gelded him. He's getting better every week. If you look close, he wears a Pelling pacifier, a Murphy blind on the outside, so he can't see the gate when he goes by it. He's a bad boy sometimes. Not dirty, not mean, just acts up sometimes. And there. Just acts up sometimes. And yesterday he wasn't. I said, I forgot to look. I asked Curtis to rewind the tape. He goes, we'll do it after. I'm like, I can't remember if he acted up. I forgot to tell James to watch him. So I went down to the barn and I said, how was Talking Peter? He goes, this is like after the 7th set. He goes, which one's that? I said, he wore a Pelling pacifier. Yeah, why do you got that on him? I said, so he went good? Yeah, he was really good. I said, he made a couple of breaks. He said, but he's fast and he's strong. I said, oh. He goes, why? No reason. I just walked away. But he's looked at the gates before. He's gone to pull up and he's acted up and just looked to get out of his work. And it's not obviously an endearing quality I want to see in horses, but they're babies. Repetition. And obviously this guy was good because James said he was awesome yesterday. I was very, very happy to see. This is obviously, I'm looking at him now. This is a colt who at the second dam, as if Halls can talk. You've seen these pedigree, Armbro Marshalls in the third. This pedigree you see in every sale. All year long at every sale, you see horses pop up with the exact same pedigree. Very happy here. One of the more impressive horses for the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 horses that impressed the hell out of me last week training, and we're in set 4, so I did watch that set. And Miss Brampton Beast looked like a beast. We had some of the hockey team there. Obviously, Miss Brampton Beast was not her given name. We changed her name. The hockey team, the Brampton Beast, retained shares in this horse, as did the breeder. And we're trying to do a cross promotion with the hockey team. It's worked out really well so far, and some of the Brampton Beast were on hand yesterday, and they were treated to a very nice filly. This filly looked great. Sylvain went with her. I said, when she's going, she might feel lazy. When you just move her over and show her air, just tap her on the tail a couple of times. He come in, he said, Jesus, he said, can this thing ever go? She looked really, really good. Her other filly, the other Sunshine Beach, looked tremendous also. Inland Beach, Jay said, I moved her like 3 times. I was going to stop with her. Then we went around once more. He said, I didn't want to start her up again. He said, man, she's really nice. She got a long hobble. Beautiful filly. Both these Sunshine Beach fillies look great. And the thing that's most important and leads me to believe that we're on the right track, both these fillies were sick when they come in. We turned them out for 2 weeks. We let them get over it. We brought them back in. They haven't been sick since. So, both Miss Brampton Beast and Inland Beach were awesome. Bottle of Red, I had said to, so Two of a Kind Hanover and Bottle of Red, sometimes I get them mixed up. And Jay Harris was going with Bottle of Red, and I said, hey, sometimes she's a little bit lazy, that filly. Okay. He comes in, he goes, why did they have earplugs in her, and why was she so hot if you told me she was lazy? He said she just wanted to go and go and go, but she's just getting strong. She's a little bit ahead of these horses, obviously, as you can imagine, because everybody wants to talk to me now. Obviously, a little bit ahead of these horses because we bought her at Goshen. So, of course, she looks good. Very, very nice filly in her own right. This is the Heston Blue Chip filly, and Jay was very, very impressed with her. Two of a Kind Hanover. The vet, one of the vets from Hanover actually emailed me last night and bought shares in Two of a Kind Hanover. So, thank you very much. Happy to have you aboard. And Two of a Kind Hanover was a little bit lazy. There's nothing wrong with that. Pace is great. Got a great family, a great gait. And they had said to me last week, hey, can you go with Two of a Kind Hanover? And I said, I can't today. I'll go with her tomorrow. And then I couldn't go with her tomorrow, and I didn't get to train her leading up to the open house, but I will train her on Wednesday. I'm looking at her pedigree right now. This is the one, this out of the sister to Twin B Hollister, $500,000, Twin B Speedo, $500,000, Sea Dragon, $340,000, Twin B Thong, 52 is a 2-year-old, $260,000. Those are all sisters to her mother, and she's 6 dams. 7 foals, almost 100% producer. Albany Girl, 52 on a 5/8, 51 on a 5/8, coming up on $250,000. Trip Hanover, Rockin' Josie, just great family. Anyway, I'm going to train her on Wednesday. No concerns there. I'll put a little circle beside her this week. I'm going to go with her on Wednesday. McNugget was good. McNugget's a little lazy. And for those of you saying, she's a little lazy, go look at the videos from Twinsburg last year. Twinsburg was a headache for everybody all winter. Lazy, gapping, acting up, wouldn't go, and then as soon as she got behind the gate, boom, the light bulb went on. All business, made $50,000, took a mark of 154 as a 2-year-old. Just a very nice and impressive filly, and this filly reminds me a lot of her. So am I concerned with McNugget's demeanor? Not at all. McNugget looked fine yesterday, did her work well. Fusspot, James was a little too protective of her. I told him, I said, she can get a little wiry. Don't fire her up. I shouldn't have said anything. If I say nothing to James, she looks awesome. But I did train her pretty hard on Wednesday of last week. There was no need to start her up again. This filly's got oodles. I'm going to use that word, oodles of ability. She's small, but she can really pace, and she is really, really fast. I was wondering if her family also. Moonlit Dragon is her mother. Ah, that's right. Took a mark of 52 as a 2-year-old. Something else that we never pay attention to sometimes is how many of the babies race at 2 out of the families. And there's a lot in this family. You got Moonlit Dragon you got both dams. Moonlit Dragon, 9 wins, 380,000, mark of 150 flat on a 5/8 mile track. And Moonlit Bay with a mark of 152, 26 wins, coming just shy of $200,000 made. These are the first dams. This filly's got third dam is a dam of Straight Path who won the North American Cup. So lots of family there to bite into. For Fusspot, very impressive last week. You guys saw the video. If you think I'm full of shit, go look at our YouTube channel and watch Fusspot train by herself in the middle of the week. And this is why I wanted to go with them by themselves. I want to know who was paying attention. The ones that just have natural ability and go out there, you go by them by themselves, go with them, and they're wandering, they're looking at everything, and they're not doing their work. The ones we had last week were dialed in, and Fusspot was one of them. Right down along the rail, straight as a string, didn't look at the gate, didn't look at the other horses jogging or the surroundings, and as soon as I called on her, she was all business. This filly trained awesome last week. A little, I'm going to say for lack of a better word, lackluster on Sunday, but James was very impressed with her. He just didn't get to start her engines up. And good for him. I'm happy he didn't. I got to on Wednesday. You got to see it. No problems with Fusspot. Same goes with Wiggle Delight. Mario's very protective of this filly and should be and will remain very protective of her. This is the Better's Delight filly, Ontario Sard. We gave all the money for her last year. She trained great on Wednesday. You got to see her train on the YouTube channel also by herself. A horse that I don't know if he fired him up. I'll play it alone. I watched him go a mile with this horse. Danny O'Brien loves him, goes with him every day. I watched him go a mile with this horse the middle of the week. I think it actually was Thursday he went with her, or went with him. Man, oh man, he looked some kind of good. So that was set number, I think it was 3. Set number, okay, keep turning. No, that was set 4. I'm going to go on to set 5 now. Set 5, Cheatin' Dixie, looked great. Made a couple little breaks first week with the hobbles on. If you look at the video I made of her training, she didn't have hobbles on and never had worn them in her life. I put them on to jog her Thursday. We scooted her a quarter on Friday. James went with her on Sunday. It was her first time going a mile with hobbles on. She was working in them, trying to learn how to use them. As you can imagine, sometimes it changes their gait a little bit and the horses want to fight with them. The hobbles, they'll trot with them on. And Cheatin' Dixie, you could tell she was fighting with them a little bit, but looked great for the most part. Susie K made a couple of breaks, but looked great. Everybody was happy. Jay was happy with her, as he should be. I was happy with her too. Spend That Money, not surprising, looked great also. I think Colin went with Spend That Money, if I'm not mistaken. Just For Me and You, had a little bit of filling in one leg. It looks like she kicked the wall or something. It wasn't a big deal, but Felix went with her, our blacksmith. He owns a big chunk of her. He said, she's on that line. And he's a perfectionist too. She goes, she's on that line. I said, relax. It's not a big deal. Should be fine next week. I'll go with her on Wednesday, and I will go with her on Wednesday. That filly went with us Wednesday with a set I went to train, and she looked incredible. This is probably one of the sleepers of the barn, is Just For Me and You, or Just For Me and You. She looked great last week. Was just okay on Sunday, but trotted the whole way. Muscle Chrome. Muscle Chrome, for those of you out there saying, what about Muscle Chrome? You know, you owned her for a long time and you're waiting for her to look. She might have made a couple of breaks, but looked much better. She's grown up, she's put weight on, and I know that Colin Kelly even told me, he says, no, he went with her 2 weeks ago on the drone, said she was okay, she was happy. He said she did her work. He came up and he said, what a difference. We had changed her shoes. I put a set of egg bars on her just because she looked, even for a small horse, like she struck the ground kind of hard. So I put a set of egg bars on her. What a difference. Just looked much, much better. And he was very, very impressed with her also. Muscle Chrome was good. I'm going to take the last two in this set as a team, because outside of one trotting colt, these two looked incredible. Knockdown, Drag Out, and Really Blue Chip looked like easily are one of our top two out of our top 3 horses for sure. Effusive looked good, and we'll get to him in a minute. But Knockdown, Drag Out, Really Blue Chip, I couldn't tell why. I had went with Knockdown, Drag Out on Wednesday and went a mile in 2:42, and she was incredible. And then Really Blue Chip blew by her at the open house going down the lane, and Mario just looked like he was sitting there. I'm like, I know she wasn't just going to trot by her. She Really Blue Chip's an incredible filly right now, looks great for us, but I don't think anybody's just going to blow by Knockdown, Drag Out. I never said anything about it. I just left it because I was so happy that you weren't good. And I found out later that Sylvain didn't have a watch. Mario did. Mario went a mile in 2:39, which is a little faster than we were planning on going this time of year, a little faster than you need to go. But these fillies are both incredibly talented. And Sylvain's usually very protective, but we weren't going any miles with them. So he just let her float along, and then Mario had said later, he said, I went a mile in 2:39. He said, I wasn't putting up a fight. I just let her blow by me. And Knockdown, Drag Out, beaten, fair and square. Really Blue Chip, probably one of our best horses. Knockdown, Drag Out again, probably one of our best horses. These fillies put on a show that put a smile on my face for hours afterwards. Very, very, very impressive. Both Knockdown, Drag Out and Really Blue Chip. And what else is good is they're both not Pennsylvania. Knockdown, Drag Out is Really Blue Chip's New York. Our first horse, I believe, is truly legit from Blue Chip Farms, to no fault of just the way it is. But Really Blue Chip looks incredible. I'm happy for us. I'm happy for Tom, the Blue Chip Farms. Obviously, a long way. It's like I'm making a Breeders' Crown statement here. It's a long way away, but I know one thing. That was an incredible looking mile the other day, and an impressive looking filly. Both Knockdown, Drag Out, and Really Blue Chip, and both of them deserve the praise I just gave them. If you didn't think they looked impressive, you're in the wrong place. I don't know what to tell you, because they look pretty good. So that's those two. And now we're going to scoot over to set number 6. We had Arctic Force. We had 3 scratches in here. Capistrano, Trafalgar, and Gold Watch all arrived. They weren't, 2 of them were a little sick, so they wouldn't have gone anyway. We just broke them. And I didn't want to go out in the track. I said, imagine now if somebody gets smashed up because, the horses were just too immature to be out there. Sure, when no one's around, we'll go out with a set of 3 or 4 and teach them from day one. But these guys were literally just broke. They would only jog 2 or 3 times, and I didn't want to send them out. And then it turned out that 2 of them were sick after. You're going to see these horses. They look great. They're bred good. Capistrano. Now, I want to make sure I get this right because they came and we clipped their tattoos. I want to make sure we got the right ones right. Trafalgar is a Dally filly. This is a sister to our filly, Buckingham, who did well for us. Just shy of 20,000 made as a 2-year-old, America 156 as a 2-year-old pacing filly. This is her half-sister by Dally. This is a beautiful filly. I had them mixed up before we shaved the tattoos. We picked up 2 and 1 was still over at the farm. I thought the War We Needy one was over at the farm. It was the Dally. And Trafalgar, you're going to see her soon enough. This is one good-looking filly. She has had 2 sisters in her life. One was named Buckingham, won a stake race and did well for us. The other one was Blue Jasmine, was a Mr. Big. And this one is Trafalgar. You're going to see what I'm talking about soon enough. This is a good-looking filly. The other one, Bob had 5 in this set. Oh my God, that colt's bred well. The other one, Gold Watch. This is a He's Watching colt. The second dam is a dam of Mystical Prince. The first one had Star Keeper, made almost $500,000. And if I'm not mistaken, he also, there she is right there, he also had a sister named Linnea. And Linnea, the people that own Linnea know how talented Linnea was. She battled sickness and allergies all year. Still took a mark of 155 and won as a 2-year-old. This was a very good filly. This is her He's Watching brother. He looks a lot like her, a little bigger than she was, obviously. And his name is Gold Watch. And the last one to come in out of that set was Capistrano. Let me get this right. Capistrano's the War We Needy. Now, take note, this is a War We Needy filly. I drove her brother, Leaf Nation. He was an Armbro Deuce. He took a mark of 151. He was okay. 22 wins. Decent family up front. The second dam, very notable. First foal out of the second dam was Mr. Feelgood. Won the Little Brown Jug for my brother Mark and Jimmy Tactor. Went on to be a really, really good horse, a mark of 149, $1.3 million made, and he beat up on everybody when he was racing. Dropped down 1 more spot. Remember When. Remember When also made just under 1.3 million, took a mark of 152. Both of them. This, Remember When, took a mark as a 2-year-old of 152 and 2. So Capistrano, you're going to get to see these horses all winter. You should take note. These are all 3 of these horses that come in later, good-looking horses. So first one in the set was Arctic Force. A lot of people were waiting to see Arctic Force. He was just coming off the virus. You could tell he was a little lethargic on the track, but he was healthy that day. No mucus, no discharge, no coughing, no temperature. He looked good the other day going. I was very happy with what I saw from Arctic Force. James went with him. Zeb Sunshine. Somebody said, well, he's way back. Zeb Sunshine had been going for about 8 days. In the hobbles for about 3 days, 4 days. Looked good. Horse hit the pace, did nothing but pace, and he's starting to look really good. Why wouldn't he? He's got a brother, semi-automatic, winning 53 as a 2-year-old, made 200,000. And the second dam, just the dam of in vitro and big time ball. Nothing serious there. Very good looking colt. Ian Zeb Sunshine. The third the next horse is Watch List. Watch List, not put together well. No, little crooked, looks like Ava drew him on a piece of paper, but well bred and loves his work. I got him mixed up actually with Film Fanatic when they were going in the set. It's my fault. But wow, what a good looking colt. The second dam's a dam of Starfighter, West Coast Man. Just a nice, well-bred colt, and he's got a great attitude. And you know me, I'm always going to cheer for the underdogs, and I'm definitely going to be cheering for this guy. Beautiful colt, looked like racy, really wanted to do his work. It's the first time I got to see him actually sprint with hobbles on. He's a good-looking colt. He is small, as I said, he's not correct, but a beautiful colt. He's priced accordingly, and he's a beautiful colt and loves his work. So this is a He's Watching colt. His name is Watch List. He looked good. Film Fanatic. Here's a colt that out of a sister to All Bets Off. standing stud in Ontario next year. The mare took a mark of 156, 56 as a 3-year-old by Art Major. 3 foals. This is the 4th one. This is Film Fanatic. He looked awesome too. I know that the driver come off him and said, "Jesus, a nice colt." I said, "We should be. We give enough money for him." So David Shea owns this horse. Him and his father. David's up here and his father's in Tignish, and they got to go watch this colt go, and they were happy. I was happy. How couldn't you? A horse that I think you could tell had a ton of talent, was really green, was Watch Ave. Watch Avenue. Watch Ave is his name. This is the giant he's watching colt. We're going to start selling shares of this guy, I think, very quickly as people get to take a look at him. Once he figures out what he wants to do, he's coming off the virus. He doesn't have a ton of work into him. Just gated up last week. This guy's really starting to put it together, and I think everybody's going to find a spot where they like this guy. This is out of a mare that took a mark of 151 by $1 Million Cam. Her name was My Mary. The second dam, Bittersweet Best, is in there, $150,000 down in the third dam. This is the same family as Boston Red Rocks right there. $1.5 million made, a mark of 148. He's standing stud now. He's down in the third dam. Watch Ave, well-bred colt that I have pretty high hopes for. He's very correct. He is a giant. And we got him here. Was sent here privately. We'll be selling shares of him all throughout the winter. Keep an eye on Watch Ave. That does it for set 6. Moving on to set 7. I told you. I told everybody, keep an eye on Anteros. He said, oh, he's got a sway back or a roach back. And everybody had a bucket full of excuses why he wasn't going to be a good horse. Yeah. Well, he doesn't have any excuses why he's not going to be a good horse. He's just going to show you all winter why he's going to be a good horse. This horse does nothing but trot and always wants to go faster and do more. Never looks at the gate. Never looks to get out of his work. Never looks to slow down. He's an aggressive worker, and this is a beautiful. I'm always going to cheer for the underdogs. I told you guys that, and I'll tell you time and time again. You show me a horse with a an ailment of some kind, and I'll show you a horse that I want to see do well. And Taros is the horse with the roach back, I guess, where he's got that lump over his back, and it's just a little deformity. You never said, oh, it's going to bother him. He was born that way. Been on this earth for over a year this way. He looked great in his yearling video. First time I put the harness on him, he looked great. For the people that thought I was full of shit, go watch the video. Tell me how he looks. I said to Jason McGinnis was going with him. I said, just sit him on the outside of the track till he gets comfortable and cut him loose. He said he could have went around 8 more times, it felt like. What a beautiful horse. He is. Beautiful horse. This is an EL Titan colt. His name is Anteros. Do yourself a favor and go look at this guy, because the shares of him, roach back, sway back, hump back, I don't care what you want to call it. I'll tell you what, the shares of this guy, they're going to be gone before Christmas one way or another. Anteros really impressed me for a number of reasons yesterday, mostly just because he looked good. Sometimes things happen. Look good also. Going to make some shoeing changes with this guy. He's got long pasterns behind. When I was gone, they put egg bar shoes on him, so a bar that goes around the whole shoe. A shoe that covers the whole foot in a circle. And sometimes when you put cork on them, it helps them stop them, right? Stop them so they don't slide. And their ankles, if you watch horses closely enough, slow the videos down, it almost looks like their ankles hit the ground. Sometimes they do. And in this guy's case with those long pasterns, they can. And when they put those egg bars on him, I think they stopped him up, and he just enough to jar him, and he lands on the ground. So we're going to make some shoeing and properly. He looks really, really good. Really good on the track. He's got a beautiful demeanor to him. Just a nice horse. And the best looking trotting colt from yesterday was Effusive. And James comes off and he goes, what is this? I said, well, that's what you get when you buy a really well-bred horse and they're supposed to be nice. He was a little small, remember? This is the guy I told you we bought him on day 1 of Lexington, that we were going to get a bargain on this guy because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we were in the right place at the right time. And Effusive, I trained him on Wednesday, and I knew how much he could go. And I said to James, you're really going to like this guy. He come off, and he went right to the board to see who he was. And he goes, what was that? I said, he's a really nice colt. And I'm not lying to you. I don't own any of this horse. All the shares are gone, and I didn't get any of them. He's some kind of nice horse. Effusive, he's bred to be a good horse. He shouldn't be shocked. His siblings' average sale price. So he's the 7th foal, the 6th before him. You take all the sale prices, divide by 6, that number is 282,000 American. So that's how good, well-bred this horse is. Without a doubt, the best bred horse I've ever had. And he looked like how a good horse is supposed to look the other day. Bend Over, I got a lot of people saying, oh my God, Bend Over's still running. He's going to continue to run for a little while. We're working on him. I figured out the problem with bend over. One, he may need to be gelded. I'm not saying he won't. I'm not saying we will, but he may need to. Problem is he paddles out a little bit. So when the horses trot straight over. Some horses paddle out. Some horses are paddle out. Some horses, this is called winging in. They'll come off the ground inward towards their knee. Now, Mischief Maker, a lot of those horses stand off. They're more likely to come off the ground and go at that knee, but they have high gaits and they go over the knee and they miss the arm and they widen out. It's not a problem at all. She's perfect. This guy, when he comes off the ground, he paddles out. Both of them. Never going to interfere anywhere up front, but he paddles out. Now, to get a trotter to trot, you got to put lots of weight on them sometimes. I had added weight to bend over to make him trot. Then I put hobbles on him. The problem is, when you put lots of weight and a set of trotting hobbles on a horse that paddles out that way, as you can imagine, tires them out. And it makes it hard for them to do their work. Really hard. So what we did was, when I'd seen the first day that obviously this was going to be a problem, mathematically speaking, he is not going to be comfortable in those hobbles, we took all the weight off and we put no weight on him. Now he's just got a full swedge on. And a light full swedge on. We went out to train him. He trotted. Still made the odd break because trotters need weight. He's got none on. So he's just going to have to, we're going to repeat. But he didn't look for the gait. He didn't look to make a break. He just did. And we can work on that. We'll find a happy medium with the weight. We'll be able to work on this colt. Now, if he's still making breaks in January, then yeah, maybe we'll geld him. But I don't personally see, I know you're not going to be able to see improvements in bend over. You're going to look at bend over on Sunday and bend over on the drone and say, those are the two horses those are the two, they're the same. They're not. And it's impossible for me to explain to you why they're not, but they are not. And bend over, to me, although I would love to see him trot and look great on Sunday, he was not the same horse from the drone. He understands what his work is, and he's trying. Is he trying as hard as he can? Maybe not, but he'll get there. Take your time. As I said, all these horses come in many different shapes and sizes. For those of you out there scrambling to jump off the bend over boat, okay, don't forget your life jacket. I told you to take your time and wait. And bend over will be fine. I can't tell you he'll be fine. I'm not going to say, oh, he'll be fine. He will trot. We will get him there. And I expect he'll be fine. He's bred well. His mother was a champion. He's by a sire I think very highly of. I think bend over will be fine. Just give us some time. We'll get bend over squared away. I was not unhappy with bend over. I saw a horse trying to do his work, just not perfectly ready to do it just yet. So he'll get there. Take your time with bend over. Don't be in a rush. Enduring Strength, the horse I thought very highly of. He looked great. He had his moments where he looked like he was going to move quickly in the field. He's an Angus Hall. Anytime you can stop and start them without them losing their mind, you're ahead of the game. And this guy obviously has some speed. I know he can go. I saw him on the track. He can go fast. So, always very happy with the job Mario does. He has Enduring Strength. He looked great the other day. Rose Run Valiant, I think I trained him. I know he can go fast. I went a mile 46 or something with him. Whoever went with him, I should have looked this up, I'm sorry. Whoever went with him, I watched him specifically because we were talking about him also. He may need the hobbles. Both his brothers wore trotting hobbles. One made $1 million and has been great in Ontario. The other one was the best trotter in Ohio 2 years ago. So they both wear hobbles. So here's a little sneak peek of your own. He may need hobbles, but he can trot lots without them right now. And the person that was going the other day, he'll put a little step in, but you got to have his attention. A lot of these trotters, you got to have their attention. If you had tapped him on the tail and set the bit in his mouth, he would have been fine. But he was out there babying them. They don't know them. It's not their fault. He didn't know the horse, and he didn't look super great the other day. But trust me when I tell you, he's some kind of horse. He never gets tired. I trained him the other day. I could have went around 2 miles with him, same speed. Never gets tired. Beautiful trotter. Maybe a little lackluster the other day, but I think that had to do with one person was going, not their fault, but they just didn't know him. And I think you have to know the colt. If they had went around with him again next Sunday, I think you'd see a much different horse. We're not going next Sunday. So yours, if you want it, you saw a horse with some flashes of speed and talent. I haven't gone with this guy yet. I'll probably go with him on Wednesday. No problems with his attitude. I think he needs a head pull, if I'm not mistaken. He was running in a little bit. No issues there. This horse has done everything we've asked him to since day one. He's going to continue to. He's just a nice horse. So yours, if you want it, certainly a horse I'm not concerned with at all. Now, I believe we're almost done now, guys. We're getting there. We go to set number 8. How did that keep going? Set number 8 We have Beach Bum BB. We had to scratch late because she was sick. No big deal there. A little bit of temperature. She's going out in the field for 2 weeks. I love this filly. Not only was she a horse that was in the Breeders' Crown, I think Dad said the horse won the Breeders' Crown. May want to fact check that, though. Might want to fact check it. Go On BB and Say It All BB, both very, very nice horses. One made $1.5 million, the other one made $780,000, and this is the sisters to the mother of Beach Bum BB by Bring On the Beach. Somebody said, I don't know what a Bring On the Beach is. Okay, he's a full brother to some beach somewhere. So what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to say that horse can't be a good horse. Muscle Mass never made a ton of money. He was good at 2 and broke down, and they bred him because he was a full brother to Muscle Massive. Made like $230,000. He's one of the best sires to ever be in Ontario. Him and Cadabra. And anyway, so Beach Bum BB, I'm not concerned with Bring On the Beach, and I am not concerned with Beach Bum BB. Beautiful filly. I love this filly. She's a little timid. She'll come over and she'll kiss you and pet you. If you happen to raise your voice around her in her direction, yeah, she might just take your head off. You don't play around with BB. She's got a really strong attitude, but she's a sweetheart in the barn, and I really like this filly. Emerald Miss made a couple little breaks. Jason didn't know her. He said, every time I tried to sit the bit in her mouth, her sister was the same way. Just let her float along, drive her like a trotter, with a loose line, like a light line in her, and she's fine. She'll get that way. When she got racy, Bourbon and Barley, when she got racy, you could sit the bit in her mouth, but until we got her qualified, just had to be light with her mouth, very tender in the mouth, and when you go to snatch her up and grab her up, she'll throw her head, they'll make mistakes, and you saw her make a couple of them just like her sister did. If you go way back when, if you go on our YouTube channel, you can do that. Go way back when and look at some of the training miles and some of the commentary on Bourbon and Barley from 2 years ago. You're going to see a lot of the similarities between her and her sister, Emerald Miss. Rocking Out Loud, Mario said much, much better. Made some shoeing changes. We're working on her. She's better every week. Very happy with what I've seen from her. I trained her in 44, 45 the other day. I know she can go a lot. So the Thinking Out Loud yearling that we have at the farm look good. Marzank Hanover, this filly looks great. Danny O'Brien never stops talking about this horse, on and on and on and on. Marzank Hanover, he really likes her. I wish he would have went with Beach Boutique, because Beach Boutique made a few little breaks and was acting up. She's a little funny. If he had her a little swat in the arse, she would have drove on, but Brett McDonald was being exactly how he should have been with her. He was very quiet with her, very gentle with her, and she took advantage of him. Beach Boutique would have been great had Danny went with Beach Boutique and somebody else went with Marzank Hanover, but there's this Marzank Hanover love affair between Danny and her, and he wanted to go with her, so that's who went with her. Wait, no, I might be wrong. Maybe he went with Need Your Opinion. I think I'm wrong. He went with Need Your Opinion. He probably should have went with her too. So there was a few horses in here Danny O'Brien knows that the drivers did not, and they're a little quirky because they weren't broke that long ago. Beach Boutique was Harrisburg. Marzank Hanover was Harrisburg. Need Your Opinion come in during Harrisburg. And all these horses I was very, very happy with. Matt Chappell sent us Need Your Opinion. And I was quite frank with everybody. When you look at Need Your Opinion's pedigree, it's just not there. It's not there. And I told Matt, Mr. Chappell, I said, she's just going to have to sell herself. Same way Inland Beach did. The same way Miss Brampton Beast will, is that they have to look good on the track. And this filly looks great. She needs a head pull on the inside instead of a line pull, but that's something we're going to work on this week. I'd say by the time you see her drone next time, she's going to look like a contender in the stable. Anyway, she's a good-looking filly. So you see Marzank Hanover look great yesterday. Danny's in love with her. Need Your Opinion look great. Beach Boutique didn't. She was acting up, but we got all winner. Relax. Beach Boutique is a very, very nice filly. She just needs to be focused. And maybe I'll go with her Wednesday, and we'll see if we can get her focus properly on the game. A horse that certainly needed no focus was Sunshine and Shade. James couldn't stop talking about this guy. Sunshine Beach Colt. I think he's all sold out now. I'm going to double check, though. There might have been 15 shares sitting. If you're in there saying, I got shut out on Sunshine and Shade, might be able to help you out. No guarantees. There may be some shares that were left over from the app. I'm not positive. I'll look into that. And there's a lot of people asking, as they should. This colt looked like a beast. And why wouldn't he? I mean, he's well-bred. Very, very nice colt. This is the half-brother to Shades of Bay, who took a mark of 49 this year at Mohawk. And the second dam, it just threw that horse Artificial, who made $2 million, mark of 147. I guess arguably the best race of his life was the only loss at some beach somewhere was due to the mother of Sunshine and Shade. So well-bred colt, lots of pedigree there, and man, oh man, he looks good. Now, looking back, everybody said, well, Sunshine's finest. He was a nice horse. he was a miserable, sour little bugger at Christmas, and that's why we gelded him. Santa brought him, he left with an empty bag at Christmas time. Santa showed up with a scalpel. So, but Sunshine's Finest, you know, he was a cranky horse before then. And when we gelded him, he started getting better and better and better. And I truly believe he's the horse he was this year for us. He didn't light the world on fire, but here's a 2-year-old paced the last quarter in 25-4. It's like third lifetime start, and it paced him 151. That's a good 2-year-old. And Sunshine and Shade, they're not cranky like he was. The fillies, the colts, none of them. Frontier Cruise, none of these horses are like that. So hopefully that's a good thing. You know, I guess he had a little bit to be cranky about too. He wasn't put together, great Sunshine's Finest. So maybe that was it. But these guys here, this guy's got his ears up, and he is all business all the time on the track. Very impressed with Sunshine and Shade. Then Master Treaty, you know, he's here because one of our clients, a good friend of mine, asked me to train the horse down, and I will. Officially, Vintage Master is banned from the barn. Unofficially, Master Treaty looked like he did his work well. And I never looked close at him. He's out of a sister to Sports Column. He's got a brother made 120,000, 16 wins. Mark of 57 as a 2-year-old, 55 as a 3-year-old. It's the first time I was really looking at him because he was just dropped off at our barn. Master Treaty, Jay said, yeah, a little tired finishing up, but pace good. And so that's a start. That's great. Really happy with what I saw, I guess, from Master Treaty. Now we're on to set 9. 2 more left. Set 9. We had Ale Sun, probably one of the top stars of the day. This is a big, strong, powerful filly. I really didn't expect this week from her. Her hocks, she had the OCDs out of her hocks. She only started back 3 weeks ago. Man, oh man, this thing is a beast on the track. All she does is trot, and she is strong. I certainly haven't seen her tired, and Jay was very, very happy with her yesterday. Path of Totality made a few little breaks. We need to put a little more weight on her up front. Very happy with what I've seen from her outside of Sunday, but we'll get her back going properly in the near future. Not doing anything wrong, not being bad, just needs a little weight and a little help. We can easily find that for her. Havana Ooh Na Na, this affiliate, we changing her shoes. She touches herself. You'll notice she made the break coming out of the turn. And in the middle of the straightaway when she's trying to accelerate, just trying to figure out her way forward. We'll get her there. There's no problems with this filly. She's a beast on the track, trots really, really well. Heavenly Skies, Blair brought her over. A lot of the horses, it's because she was broke here also. They know where that gate is. There's somebody in there, sir.
Sorry?
There's somebody in there.
Okay, I can leave it too, though. Okay.
No problem. Just throw it on the deck.
Okay, thanks.
FedEx. I don't know what it is. Anyway, Heavenly Skies was looking at the gate, acting up, but you know, Blair's got her over there with those other babies, and he said, she's been good, she's coming off the virus, she'll be fine. And I agree, she probably will. Horse, it didn't surprise me, but I was so happy when I saw her globe trotting. I have high expectations for this filly. Her biggest problem is she's always sick. She's going out tomorrow morning. She's going to the field for 2 weeks. This is a beautiful filly. You want to see what a nice trotter looks like. Just got a beautiful, soft gait. Go look at his set number 9. Mario went with her. Her name is Globe Trotting. I love this filly. Had from the start. Really, really interested to see what she's going to turn into. Horse that I'm also excited to see where she's going to end up. Compass Rose DC. Colin Kelly went with her 2 weeks ago and went with her yesterday. He said, what an improvement. He said, it's really hard to believe just 2 weeks. And she went fine 2 weeks ago, but she was incredibly good yesterday. I noticed she was coughing a bit this morning, so we're going to keep a close eye on that also. Spirit of Dio, she's always good. I've never gone with her yet. I'm probably going to train her on Wednesday, see what the deal is with her, but everybody loves her that goes there. She trots great, never makes a mistake. Just kind of in the pack yesterday. We're going to bust her loose a little bit on Wednesday, maybe go a mile 250 with her, see how she feels. Probably, again, another horse that was unbelievably shocking to me was Olympic Hopeful. I had zero expectations of this filly when she went on the track yesterday, and all she did was trot. I was wrong. Jay did not go with Ale Sun. He went with Olympic Hopeful, and he said she was really, really nice. I said, well, she's only really been going for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. She had OCDs out. Just an impressive gait, great attitude. I was thoroughly floored with how good Olympic Hopeful looked. This is a sister to Guilty with an Excuse, a horse that did well for Amy and I for about 4 or 5 months, about 2 winters ago. He ended up making, not for us, but he made $500,000, took a mark of 151 or 152, a trotter. And this is the sister, and she looks incredible. Very impressed. You own shares in Olympic Hopeful out there? Good job. She's a beautiful filly. I love what I see in this filly. So, set 10, obviously, there was a couple of standouts in there. One brand new horse that his breeding stood out, but he's got some work to do. So we'll start from the top. Johan. Johan is one of him and Effusive, I thought, were the two best looking trotting colts. Johan, and considering where we got Johan and where we got Effusive, one was in the barn for 3 weeks longer than the other. Johan's all trot. Jay comes off the track and he said, any shares left in this one? I said, sadly, no. I'm sorry. So Johan was incredibly, you can tell he's just a gifted trotter. Who knows what he's going to do with his talent? He is a gifted trotter, and I am very, very happy with what I've seen from him. Horse that I cheer for full-time, Jailhouse Master. Made a little break on Jason E. Yesterday. Got to get his gait under control, but he wants to do it. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from this horse over the last month. Made a little break yesterday. We're gonna give him a do-over next week, but I'm very, very happy with what I've seen from Jailhouse Master. Harness AM. Danny's always talking about her, as he should. Beautiful filly, well-bred, does everything great, looks great on the track. She's all business. This is an incredibly talented filly. Very happy with what I've seen from Harness AM. Now, a new horse to the barn with not new breeding is Hometown Boys. I just had somebody buy some shares of them and ask me 10 minutes before, who's Hometown Boys? Hometown Boys? He's a full brother to a horse we had called Cruising in Style. Now, Cruising in Style's two biggest flaws for me were, one, he was always thin. No matter how much he ate, he always was thin because he was a worrier. And two, he was a hothead, always a runaway, always hot. You get his full brother, he's fat and lazy. So we got to get some weight off him and teach him how to trot fast. He was putting lots of work in up at the Amish. A lot of people send, the guy had 70 horses up there when I went there. A lot of people send their yearlings there to get broke. They do a good job, but there's no speed there. It's just repetition, just work. So we got this guy back, and he just floats along like a Clydesdale. Little work over the next 2 weeks, and if need be, possibly a little castration, and he will focus. I'm going to give him the opportunity to do his work properly and focus with some work. If he needs some help focusing, we can do that also. So, Hometown Boys, I don't know how this is going to turn out. He's got a beautiful gait. He's big. He's as big as Cruz was at 2. He's a little lighter color. And the two biggest flaws, if you ask me the two flaws, any flaws in Cruising in Style, and what are they? He was hot, he was thin. This guy's lazy and fat. So, could be a great combination. This could be any kind of horse. We paid pretty good money for him. The breeder sent him here, kept a piece of him, and the clients of Cruising in Style have been jumping in and buying shares left. There's 15 shares left in this guy, and obviously holds a special place with us. If there was no Lawmaker, you know, and Lawmaker held a different spot to us because I owned a piece of him and I got to drive him, so I was always talking about him. Cruising in Style was always in his shadow, which was kind of unfair. His Cruising in Style has been a great horse also. On Hambo Day, I was 4th beat a length with Cruising in Style and 151 in a piece in race great. Just a horse that anybody would love to have, Cruising in Style. This is his full brother. Cruising in Style at the time is in Muscle Mass, which was New York. Now Muscle Mass is Ontario. His full brother is an Ontario bred. He's with us. He's here to stay. His name is Hometown Boys with a Z and a Z. We're in Canada. And he's a good-looking colt. Crazy Mission. I took full responsibility for his breaks yesterday. Let his hobbles out. The little guy was looking for his pants, and they were too big. So he made a couple little breaks, but he's got it all put together. He went from being cranky and making breaks to actually doing his work great and training great last week. I went easy on him the 4 days leading up to the open house, and then let his hobbles out like an idiot, and he made a break. No big deal. Very happy with him. Libero Hanover, you saw a horse with lots of talent. Why wouldn't he be? You know, he's a Cantab Hall. He's pretty good bred. He trots great. Got a great gait. And his attitude was in question the first day. But he must have heard from the first video when I said I was going to castrate him, because he's been absolutely perfect every day since then. So maybe he's subscribed. I'm going to check. Maybe he's subscribed to our mailing list, because he's done everything great since, and yesterday was no exception. Fantastic and looked great. Pine Creek, yeah, she looked bad. She looked bad because she's immature. She doesn't know what to do, and she's out there working, though. She's got a great attitude. She loves her job. She just looks at everything, and she's very timid. Just time. Just takes time. Don't worry about Pine Creek. There's no issues with Pine Creek. This is a beautiful filly, and she'll just going to take a little bit of time. I don't want to rush her because I know what's going to happen. She knows she's a big girl, and if I try and make her do something she's not ready to do, She will destroy everything. And just out of defense, more than anything else, I'm going to let this filly take her time because I really like her a lot. Willpower Fashion, my boy Will, was the last horse in the last program page. Willpower Fashion looked good yesterday, but he's been sick coming in. I think he made a little bit of a break, and they had a head pole on the wrong side. So not only did Will have a lot to do, he had to learn how to wear a head pole on the outside for the first time in his life. I didn't catch it until afterwards. The guy that was driving him up and said, why do you have a head pole on the outside of him? I said, he doesn't have a head pole on the outside, he wears one on the left. It was on the other left today, he said. So not a big deal. Will's a professional. He still went out and did his work, and I couldn't be any happier than I am with Willpower Fashion. I just like him. I don't know why. He's not an underdog. I just gravitate towards him. He's just a nice horse. So Willpower Fashion, although didn't light the world on fire yesterday, certainly looked impressive in his own right. We talked about some horses that really stood out, some horses that caught my eye, some horses that I thought were ultra impressive. 4 come to my mind right away. Knockdown, Drag Out, Really Blue Chip, Effusive, Johan. I'm sure there's more. Frontier Cruise, Sunshine and Shade. There's 16. I meant to talk about 16. So there's definitely 16. I don't need to tell you about them. You already know them. If this is any indicator of what the future holds for TheStable.ca in 2019, I'm going to go to bed with a smile on my face because I am very, very happy with what I've seen so far. So that's it. That's all of them. I jammed everything in together into all the babies. We're going to do the barns still. Going to go through all the barns, talk about the notable signing we made yesterday, or last week, and announced it yesterday. Talk about all the horses ready to qualify. Got a lot to talk about. Still lots to do. That's 56 minutes on the babies. Be right back to waste more of your time. We're going to talk about all the racehorses next.